On the stage with me, 2007 Ironman champion here, the Ford Ironman champion, Chris Macca McCormack. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Yeah.
So, 2009, good year, doing well.
Yeah, it's been a solid year.
Yeah.
Can't believe how quick it's come around. I feel like I was only here last year. I say that every year, but it's time again. October 2009.
2007, you won here. 2006, you were 70 seconds in between Norman. You were running like a scalded cat out there on the marathon, and little by little, second by second, mile by mile, minute by minute, you caught up to 70 seconds, Norman. Then you won the next year. And then last year, in the earpiece, I heard Mac is out. And I'm like, no, can't be. And it was. And it was like, can you maybe just fill anybody in that doesn't know the story? You had the mechanical? Whatever happened with that?
Yeah, I snapped the front derailleur cable on a new product I was using last year, and unfortunately couldn't repair it, so I was out just after 3.5 hours into the race. I didn't even get to halfway, so it was a huge disappointment. But you know, I got to watch the event from the support vehicle, I guess, and I was getting the lift back home, and it looked like a tough day.
Yeah,
really
seeing you go away on the moped in full kit with your wife, I was like, whoa, amazing.
Yeah, it was tough to deal with mentally, I guess. You know, usually in the years past where I had some failures here, I had a point of reference, something to look back and refer to, but you know, when you're out of the race 3 hours in last year, it's a very hollow feeling. So, you know, I got back into training relatively quickly, and we planned for this moment, 3 days' time. It's been all we've been focused on for the last 365 days.
You know, it's been said before, over the last few decades, there were a handful of top dogs in both the men and women's race, and it was almost predictable who might be in the top 5. Nowadays, looking at what Chrissy Wellington did 2 years ago, just sort of also ran, but then all of a sudden she comes out and, you know, just does a great job winning here twice. In the men's field now, there's such a handful. We saw Rasmus Henning, ITU long course champion, then go over to China and win China this year. He broke his hand last month, but he's going to race anyways. He switched to shifters. Someone like that. Other people, you know, people coming back. Tim DeBoom. You know, what do you think out there on Saturday? How's it going to shake out? Any thoughts? Any prognostications?
The list's huge. I think Rasmus was a huge threat, you know, with the broken hand. I think he's up for a big task now. I saw him at the pool a few days ago, and yeah, he's in a pretty bad way. But you know, I think Crowe's proved here the last 2 years that he's very, very solid in this heat. He runs very, very well off on this course, so he's a threat. I think I spent the last 7 weeks training with Lorenzo Bozzoni. Probably one of the fastest 70.3 runners in the world. You know, he continually reels out 70-minute, you know, half marathons off the bike. He's got a huge engine, and he's made the move up to Ironman racing now. He could be a threat, you know. We'll see how he goes on the tough windy bike section. He's still relatively young. Andreas Raylert, Nico Lanos, so many guys. But you know, I think you know, every year we try and make these predictions of what's going to happen out here, and every year you know, the course throws up so many unpredictable things, and the race evolves, and you know, usually the good guys come to fruition. But I wouldn't be surprised if you know, you see someone like an Andreas Raylert or a Lorenzo Bozzoni really right up there in the mix this year.
With us on the main stage, brought to you by Triathlete Magazine, 2007 Ironman World Champion, the great Chris McCormack. Tell us about Lorenzo. You and he are both riding Specialized here in the demo days. You know, he's a great young man coming from New Zealand. I remember his dad called and said, hey, you know, my son's going to be racing in the States. You know, he bought him a van. He just didn't rent a car because he was too young. So he bought him a van, and he traveled around California, and he hooked up with Murphy as an agent. You know, you came over here in your first year, and I remember about mile 9 at the top of Sack and Save, Pay and Save Hill. That was the end of the day for you. How have you, as, you know, friend, sort of a training partner of Lorenzo, sort of helped him with his learning curve? You know, a guy like that, you know, breaking course records around the 70.3 world. Great guy, has a great big old beard now. Has he shaved that yet?
That's gone. Yeah,
okay.
He's gone.
So tell us about the last month training with him.
Yeah, I'm a little older than he is. I'm 11 years older. He's still a young lad, 24 years of age. And, you know, I've heard about Lorenzo my entire career, where, you know, he's a Kiwi, I'm an Australian. Trans-Tasman rivalry there. It's not too we tend to hear a lot what's going on in New Zealand, and he's been a huge talent his whole career, and we get on very, very well. I see a lot of similarities in the way he raced from when I was his age, and we've got similar sponsors and we have similar personalities. We get on very, very well, and I just threw it out there to him this year. If he'd like to hook up this year and spend some time training together, I knew he was focused on coming here to Kona. Let's do it, and we hooked up, and I just hope he doesn't make the same errors that I made in my early days racing here. I was a little bit cockier than he is, I guess, and
No.
yeah, a little bit, not too much, but a little bit more cockier. And I was too proud to go and ask people for advice. I thought I knew the way to elite drive victory, and I was doing it my way, and I made a few errors, and I was hoping I could iron those out for Lorenzo, and could see him at the top of the podium much quicker than it took me to get there.
Years ago, if you look at the world champions here in Kona, they were all single, not married, no kids. Now you got people like Heather Golnick with 3 kids, and Tasha Badman, world champion with a daughter. You're a proud dad of 2. I've seen you with your girls. I know being a father myself is just a great part of it. The taper, sometimes, when you want to go train, but you got to take care of the kids. And so did that help you maybe save yourself from burning out with the kids, just being around wanting to hang with dad?
Well, you're up early.
Yeah.
That's I make sure you get up early for training, because my girls are up well before 5 a.m. most mornings. But it was a different. Emma and I we had kids relatively young in triathlon. So amongst my peers, the guys I was racing with, we were the first couple to really have children. So we were on our own a little bit in those early days. We didn't get invited to those dinner parties as much as the other guys without the kids. And our first daughter was an absolute handful. She was a terror. But I wouldn't change it for the world. My girls have travelled the world with us, and they've been around this amazing sport, amazingly positive people, and I just enjoy where I'm at in my life. I love my family, and I love doing what I'm doing, and I just think I'm a positive role model for them.
Tell us about your website, your foundation, how the foundation came about, with the passing of your mom. Tell the people how they can get check out your website and how they can get involved in making a difference in other people's lives through our sport.
I guess, I lost my mother to breast cancer in 1999, just prior to the Sydney Olympics, and, having 2 girls of my own. I come from an all-girl household. I've got 2 daughters and my wife Emma, and, breast cancer is something that, everybody thinks just affects women, but when I lost my mother, it was, we're a household of boys. We were lost without my mother, so, when you're losing the female population to a terrible disease like breast cancer, it does affect men, and, I want to do something positive for women, and, I would love my girls to be able to grow up in a world where there is no breast cancer, and, so I always race with a little pink ribbon, and, before every race I'm always say a little prayer to my mother and embrace my girls, and, I just thought I'd do something. I worked with my sponsors in putting stuff together to donate, a percentage of my prize money, and, my sponsors donate a percentage of my bonuses to the Breast Cancer Foundation.
And that's something you started a few years ago, given your part of your award away. And one of your sponsors is incorporating the pink ribbon onto the uniform, so that's available to the open public as well as some stuff that you wear personally.
Yeah, Under Armour's jumped aboard and done that, and they're right behind, women, girl power.
Absolutely. So what else is going on? How you doing? Your training? You feel good? What's going on for Saturday? You personally?
Everything's good.
You got the cable problem fixed?
Cable's fixed.
Okay.
New bike. Everything's been. Everything's good. Training's been exceptional. We've been here on the island for 7 weeks, and I feel really, really good. Excited. Very much looking forward to racing in Kona again. I think I'll be very hard pressed to be beaten. I don't like to be as cocky as I was in the past, but there'll be no excuses this weekend. Anyone who wants to win this title has to get through me, and if they do, I'll be the first person to shake their hand, but good luck to them.